It's time for the Lowco Sports Lowdown. Here are your hosts, Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Max Araj.
No, it's Marcus Walsh. It's Marcus Walsh. Two of us are the aforementioned by that voice who belongs to someone who sounds familiar, and the other is not. Max Araj will be joining us in a bit. Justin Jarrett, Wes Kerr, and Marcus Walsh with you for the Lowco Sports Lowdown. I may kick off a little early tonight. It's been a long day. I will say my piece, and then I'll probably leave the sandbox to whoever wants to stay up later tonight and talk a little bit more. But been a long day over here for sure. A good day. Good day of softball practice today. Good day. Sounds like my guy Truman had a good day at tryouts for baseball at McCracken. Had a great show of Under the Bus earlier tonight. Those guys were on point as always. And then I trained a new Team Lowco intern. A youngster, a middle schooler from Cross,
nice.
Kate Pagan. She got in StreamYard and I showed her around a little bit. She's going to start helping us clip some promo clips, and she's into video editing and interviews and all kinds of stuff. Like, she wants to be a big J journalist, so like us. So pretty excited about that. She's also a good little hooper. So I've been coming out to the One Lowco clinics. She shot up a 1L. I said, man, I'm going to have to put you guys on Team Lowco. And she said, really? Could I do that? So that was cool. But we had a busy night of high school hoops tonight. And we are also shortly going to be joined by Alonzo Allen, football star from Whale Branch, who is going to announce his college commitment, his recommitment, because he committed to Erskine. He decommitted. I have a speculation, because I did see last week an offer came in from Newberry. Newberry has been high on his list. He's a big Ron Parker guy. And Ron Parker played at Newberry. So I have a feeling that the Wolves might be getting some good news today, but we'll see. Can't promise you anything. You know, people like to throw you for a loop, but gonna have Zoe on to announce it live with us, which is gonna be really cool, because that's a guy that Wes and I, particularly, and you too, Marcus, over at WHHI, we followed Zoe throughout his career. So pretty cool to have him, kind of cap it off tonight.
What an athlete. And I really find this fitting, obviously, just hearing the news, within the last couple of days, but I find it fitting that he's making this announcement just a mere, 3 or 4 days after we hear about Jerry Hatcher leaving Whale Branch because of just the connection that they had. And obviously Zoe had so many great things to say about Coach Hatcher, as we all did. Very, very poetic.
And we'll get to ask him
very awesome
Hatcher tonight. So the timeliness of it is pretty cool. But we'll be on the lookout for Zoe. I'll let him know we're ready. Big night of hoops tonight. We all stayed in, I believe, right? Wes, you didn't get out, did you?
I was watching our great
Own.
friends Javon Livingston Company over at Buford's Own, and I was watching the May River Hilton Head game.
I tried to find it. Couldn't.
Yeah, the boys finish off the sweep, and on the girls' side, we got a buzzer beater.
Yeah,
my stud over there, Hilton and Alania Richard, with 2 seconds left, hits the game-winning jumper with the defender right in her face, and the Seahawks come away with a huge win. But the guys of May River, and it was tight. It was like a 3-point game in the fourth quarter, but the Sharks pulled away late. It was a big game for Andrew Johnson, but it really was Gage Duncan and Tanner Macy who took over down the stretch to kind of ice it for the May River Sharks. So the big dudes, the big boys stepping up for May River to guide the Sharks to another win to keep pace with Bluffton.
Yeah,
that's Bobcats won tonight.
Bobcats got the dub.
7-33. Strong win for the Bobcats. Buford almost got their first win, lost by 2 to Bishop England, 57-55.
Yeah, we will. We have quite a few of the scores rounded up. We'll get to those in just a bit as Marcus has gone on walkabout. But we have our special guest in the green room now, so we'll get him in here. It looks like there's a little bit of a red tent over there. Zoe, you trying to send us a message? Maybe.
Maybe.
First off,
We welcome
Alonzo.
Alonzo Allen, star
yeah.
from Whale Branch. Zoe, great to have you here tonight. We'll get to the news in just a minute, but before we do that, big news this week with Coach Hatcher announcing his retirement, and you played for him for a number of years, and so I'm sure that you were one of the first to know, and I'm sure it hit you pretty hard.
Yeah, a little bit. I found out on my visit. And then, but he had told me a couple of days earlier he was contemplating it, but
yeah.
What did he do specifically to help you on your journey and to help develop you as an athlete and as a person to get you to this point?
I mean, the short answer would be just him cursing me out, but but honestly, just him being real with me, and and putting his best interest into me, like nominating me for things that I wouldn't even know about, or even as a freshman, putting me in front of coaches.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Somebody's
yeah,
fake.
Alonzo, it's been such a pleasure watching you throughout the years. I remember you as a young freshman, young sophomore at Whale Branch, and you very quickly put yourself in the best situation possible for you to succeed out there and put up some big numbers immediately. So, just to reflect more on before we hear about your next chapter, reflect more about your time at Whale Branch and how you have shined on the field and how you've developed alongside your teammates. What have been your favorite moments as a Whale Branch Warrior?
I loved it. I wish I could have more time. I mean, honestly, sometimes you don't realize it until it's gone.
Yeah.
Right.
It did hit me that last game, but honestly, I loved it, man. When it been in the bet went against it for the world. I still remember the same day I made a decision to come to Whale Branch. It was either be the Beaver High or Whale Branch. So
Warrior through and through, and you played like one throughout your career, man. But
Yep.
you won't be a Warrior anymore unless you will. But do you want to let people in on where you're going to be playing ball? You committed to Erskine. I saw an offer come in last week that I thought looked awfully intriguing, and then I saw the decommitment. So I have a hunch, but where are we going, buddy?
Well, one, I like thank God. I mean, without him, I wouldn't be in this position right now. I want to thank all my coaches, all of them, all my teammates, all of them for even putting their support in me. And then, so for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be committed to Newberry.
Yes, sir. Newberry it is. As I speculated that it might be. Of course, everybody who follows football around here knows that Newberry is where Ron Parker played his college ball, or finished playing his college ball. Started off at Independence Community College out in Kansas, made it to Newberry, and from there he made it to the league. So you've got a blueprint that you can follow, and you just happen to have the man who made it, who drew it up, in your corner. So talk a little bit about your relationship to him and what it means to you to follow in his footsteps.
Man, it's big, man. Even though he's my cousin, he's more like a mentor or an uncle to me.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole time I was up there on my visit to Newberry, we was talking. He didn't end up coming. I mean, he was supposed to come, but he didn't end up coming because he had something to do with his business. But he continued texting the coaches. Like he been pushing for me since my freshman year or my 8th grade year, for them to go ahead and offer me, and it finally came through. So man, it just time to get back to work, and he gonna help me. He gonna help me through that journey too.
Yes, sir.
What excited you the most about Newberry that helped you make your decision to play your college ball over there, and what were the toughest parts of making that decision, and why did you ultimately choose to continue your academic and athletic career at Newberry College?
Honestly, it's where I wanted to be at from the jump.
Yep.
I mean, because the family atmosphere. I mean, I've been up there a whole bunch of times, from when Ron was playing to even stuff with going up there with my dad just on a recruiting visit. Like it is, and every single time I went there, it's a lot like Well Branch. I mean, it's real family oriented. Like they're gonna put their best foot for you, and you can't fail up there unless you want to fail.
Zoe, you were a guy that was electric on both sides of the ball. Is there a specific position that you're looking at there at Newberry or wherever they'll have you?
I mean, I love the defensive side of the ball, so I'm looking
Yep.
to play that safety or that nickel or that corner. But
Okay.
really, anywhere, I'm just want to play football.
Yeah, I like you in that
Great
kind
answer.
of like what Snead's playing at Notre Dame, that hybrid kind of
Right.
safety, walk down in the box sometimes, like that's where I always envisioned you at the next level, was that kind of hybrid guy. Because you might grow into a linebacker, they get you at the training table and in the weight room, you might turn out a linebacker at some point. But right now it looks like DB for you. You know any guys up there?
I got a cousin I got my cousin Deontay Parker that graduated a couple years ago. He
Okay.
up there.
Nice.
Then
Okay. Very good.
I know a couple of the guys. I know a couple of the guys on the roster. So
All
Very
right, very
cool.
good.
Yeah,
So happy
that's
for you,
fantastic.
man.
yes, sir.
Really, really happy for you. And you just going off of what you were talking about about Whale Branch, like you are next in line and of joining the college ranks of so many others at Whale Branch. When you look over the past few years of all the former Warriors that have gone to do big things in college and the NFL, what does it mean to continue that tradition and continue to play ball and continue to exemplify that Whale Branch mentality,
I mean,
that warrior mentality?
it means a lot. That's the one of the main reasons I went to Well Branch. I mean, we known for putting people into school, running that from D
Yep.
to Niles to X, KJ, Irv, Jaheim. I mean, we known for that. I mean, we WBU through and through. So just I'm loving the I love to continue the tradition. I mean, that's the main goal, man. You gotta go to college, get that scholarship.
I know at least you, Tots, and Brian Ruiz are all committed, right? Anybody else from the Whale?
Zaire,
Zaire Erskine, right?
yes sir.
Yeah, so you got four going to play ball out of a
Awesome.
1A program, man, and
Great.
a 1A program that I think a lot of people would say kind of had a down year overall. I mean, to your standards, they're impossibly high. So I mean that says it all right there. They're churning them out in Seabrook. It's a cool thing. Kevin Libby had a great question, and I would love to know that. He's just as interested in the intended major as the destination. Tell us
Yeah.
about the brain side of things.
Sports management.
Okay.
Sports management. All right.
Yes sir.
You gonna be a coach and an AD one day?
That's the goal.
That's the move. All right.
Football don't work out after I retire after football. That's what I want to do.
Even when football works out, it still ends before you want your life to end. So you got to have a plan. Got to have a plan after that, as you know. And Ron definitely showed you that too. He showed you the blueprint, and D for that matter. I mean, D's got businesses running while he's still playing in the league, and they've you have a great group of mentors who have blazed the trail for you out there. And that's one of the things I love about Whale Branch is that family. I mean, once a warrior, forever a warrior, and really not just even Whale Branch, but the Low Country, man. Like people see our kids putting in the work. We want to help you get where you want to go, and we want to try to be a part of it. So we're in your corner all the way, man. I know you've known that
Absolutely.
for a long time, and we appreciate you holding off your announcement from this afternoon to tonight to do it live with us. But congratulations, so newest member of the Newberry Wolves. You signing tomorrow?
Yes sir. 3:00.
Awesome.
Sign them papers tomorrow, make it official.
Great stuff.
But we'll let you get some rest, man. But thanks a lot for popping on, and congratulations again. And thanks for being a great subject to cover for the last few years. And we look forward to keeping tabs on you up the road.
Yes sir. Appreciate it, man.
Be good, man.
Thanks, Zoe.
Mickey Zoe.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
What a kid.
So proud of Zoe. Yeah, he
covered him
absolutely
for a
deserves
long time, and he was always such a prominent piece that Whale Branch defense,
backdrop in
and
Lowco history.
always played the
Yeah.
chip on his shoulder. Tremendous heart that we saw on the field. That guy, and he definitely did his part. He was always terrific worker and so dialed in. And man, it was fun to watch him. But I am pumped to see him earn this opportunity that he is so well deserved to shine at the next level. And I think Newberry's a great fit for him. I think he's going to be able to really choose the position that he wants to thrive in a spot like that. And I think it suits out really well for him. And the pedigree's there, as he mentioned, with the Ghost, formerly
Ghost.
Yep.
We're gonna have to get the Ghost back on because he and I haven't talked trash about the Chiefs in the Super Bowl yet this year. Maybe we'll wait and see if they win first.
Yeah.
Neither one of us is in a trash talking mood right now because it's Saquon's birthday on Sunday. That's so scary.
Yeah.
So scary. So scary. But no, awesome. Zoe's one of my favorites. I mean, I've said that a lot of times, so I'm not gonna try to get into who was my favorite or who are my favorites or whatever. But he's one of my favorites. I mean, he's one of the kids that I've gotten to know the best. On the side chats and talking about real stuff and kind of trying to mentor and push him on his way and help him on his way. And he's just a tremendous kid, great family. I love those Whale Branch kids and so happy for him, man. He was going to be happy as a clam to go play ball at Erskine, but this was the dream, really. I mean, he more than anybody or more than anything I would say about him is he always had a really good head on his shoulders as far as understanding the reality and what it was, and that he just wasn't blessed with the Division I size body. Like it's a Division II size body, and that doesn't mean that that's his upper limit, but that's just what his body gives him at this time. And he understood that, and he knew that if there was a place to continue his craft, that if he could rise above that level, he would. And he landed in the right spot. I'm super happy for him. I think he's going to be highly successful in whatever he does. So
he definitely used and has used his ability. And
yes,
I mean,
leveraged it.
I only was able to catch him the last couple of years in games that we had on WHHI, but that kid on the field, and I mean, I always thought of him more from what you guys were saying and what I was looking into personally as more of a running back, but he did a lot on defense too. And
he was always defense first. I mean, he ran the ball when they needed him to, but his priority was defense. And
Whale Branch did have a plethora of running backs to go with too, and running options.
And when they didn't have a dominant one, they would just share it. It would be a by committee situation.
Right.
At times they had a dominant one.
Yeah.
Hey, Max Araj is here. Let's let him in. Maxie, what's up, buddy?
Hey, fellas. How are we doing tonight?
We're doing well. We just talked with Zoe Allen, who announced that he will be a Newberry Wolf.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
The Wolves. Yeah. He's a wolf.
What an amazing athlete Zoe is. So good.
I hated not getting to see him wrestle this year, but I understood it. He was only doing that to train for football, and he achieved his goal. So, but man, he was fun to watch wrestle. Mad Max, Thunderdome.
That's me.
So to shift gears, first shout out to our presenting sponsor tonight. That would be Mickelson Law Firm, same as it is every night until we get a new all-star sponsor, and then we get to mix it up. All-star sponsor of Lowco Sports and our original sponsor, Mickelson Law Firm, can help you with all your legal needs, but they are our official real estate closing attorney, and they're presenting sponsor of our Hilton Head Christian Academy coverage, but we know they love everybody in the Lowco, support all the schools around Bluffton and surrounding area, and always out there supporting sports in our community. That's why they support Lowco Sports, and we hope that many more of you will follow suit and become sponsors at LowcoSports.com. We've got a link up there where you can support, and even individuals can become a Lowco legend with a donation to the cause. So check that out. Mickelson Law Firm, official sponsor. We have new Tanaya Bowman nickname recommendations, which is good because apparently she doesn't like Mighty Mouse. But rangefinder, the ranged weapon archer, downtown, or sweetness.
Archer sounds cool.
I am a little prone to sweetness, if I may. Sweetness
I like
is
that
kind of
too.
nice. Yeah,
Sweetness
Walter
or Archer?
Payton. Walter
like
Payton.
Archer.
She's more Barry Sanders than Walter Payton, though. I feel like. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to give it some consideration. I might have to talk to.
We have to have a
could just call
committee
it.
to help
But the
decide
Archer
that
is good
because-
because Bowman, Bowie.
Yeah,
Archer.
Archer. That's why I like that one.
The Archer's pretty good.
There,
We
some
could run that
solid
by
ones
her.
on that list. We have
Yeah.
to have like a committee and vote on it or something. Because
Yeah, well, I think input from
Especially when she hits a 3, she can just go.
input from Mighty Mouse might be relevant.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we're
some
gonna have
good
to end up
choices there.
changing it
Good
again.
choices there.
I'm gonna lobby to
Ar-
keep
Ar-
Mighty Mouse personally, but
Archer's good. Downtown
Archer's good.
is kind of it's overused.
Yeah, it's kind of used.
Overused. But Sweetness is pretty solid.
Down
although
Toeman Bowman.
No.
Down Toeman Bowman.
No,
that one's
if she
terrible.
doesn't like Mighty Mouse, I have a feeling she'll hate that one, Justin, even more.
Yeah.
Tebow works. I have a
Max,
tendency to want to call her Bowie because
You understand that post-shot swagger.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth, Kevin? You know it, man.
Yeah, but you got to be careful with that because brandishing a weapon in your celebration will get you teed up.
Yeah, that's not good.
If you do it in the air,
don't do that.
Like
don't
if
do
you're
that.
hitting, if you're hitting the ceiling, you should be fine. If you do it at a player, then
you better shoot it in the air for sure. If you shoot it at a player, you're gonna get popped. You definitely can't do the 3-ball like a gun either. That one will get you.
Yeah.
I learned that one. Didn't we, Max? We saw one of those, but I didn't see it, but I heard about it. Those are some good suggestions. We'll be back in the Cove tomorrow night for USCB basketball. Lander coming to town, one of 2 home games this week. They'll be at home Saturday again against Georgia Southwestern. So a couple big ones coming up. Rufio, that's a great one. Run home, Jack.
Rufio.
Run home, Jack. Yeah.
Yes, love it.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
I love it. It was the best iteration of Peter Pan in my estimation. Although Robin Hood Men in Tights, that's not really Peter Pan, but that's funny too. That was the best Robin Hood, I think.
I think my favorite
is the one where Costner just lost his British accent midway through. Was ridiculous, right? It was fun to watch.
Robin Williams as Peter Pan is a true
Jack is the best.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so good.
Amazing.
But some basketball scores from around the area. We don't have them all yet, but the ones we do have: Bishop England 72-44 over Beaufort on the girls' side. That was first versus second, so there's still a pretty good gulf there. As you said earlier, Wes, Bishop England is a wagon.
Yes.
Bluffton 43-26 over Colleton. In the game you mentioned, Wes, Hilton Head 26, May River 24. Aliana, is that how it's pronounced? Aliana Richard?
Yeah, that's right.
Game-winning jumper
Richard
with 2 seconds
the game
left.
winning, not quite buzzer beater, but it was with 2 seconds left when she hit the game winner. And there was some tight defense right on her when she made that shot. It was here it is right here.
Free throw line, elbow jumper. Ooh.
And
nice.
The context before that, Hilton had a decently sized lead. May River, Hilton gifted May River a chance to get back in this game. The Seahawks missed a couple foul shots, and then May River hit 2 of their own to tie it before Hilton went down the floor and won it right there with that Richard shot. But that's a huge, big-time clutch shot from someone who certainly doesn't have the usage compared to some of those other players on the court. Like she doesn't take too many shots, but man, talk about cleaning up clutch for your team in a big spot in not just in this game but in this region, because that puts them in a tie for 3rd place and it drops May River down to 5th. So a huge swing right there with the results for the Seahawks. So massive shot at a massive victory. Defensive struggle for a good bit of that one, but the Seahawks find a way to gut it out and put themselves right in the mix for a potential spot for third place. Obviously, Bluffton right there as well. They took care of business to get today against Colleton, and then as you mentioned, Bishop England all over Buford. Very, very impressive from battling Bishops. But man, the Seahawks team will battle. They will. Good to see them because they've had a couple of close losses. It's nice to see them get a close win because they've had a couple of them that have slipped away at whether in overtime or the Bishop England game was a close loss. So this team might be talk about learning how to win. That you need to learn how to win those close games.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You sure do.
Yep.
Slow heartbeat at the end of games is not easy to come by. But when you figure it out, it's a good thing. Wesley from the Princess Bride, yeah, he has a terrific accent. Bear from American Wedding played Little John. Okay, yeah, I remember Little John, so that makes sense.
Okay.
Princess Bride is an all-timer, by the way. That's one of my all-time faves. As you wish. The man with six fingers. I'm Inigo Montoya. You killed my father and prepared to die. I clearly cannot drink from the cup in front of you, but I clearly cannot drink from the cup in front of me. Yeah.
Very good, Justin. Very good. Very good.
ROUSs? Rodents of unusual size? Frankly, I don't believe they exist. Yeah. That's an all-time favorite.
I'm waiting for your audition.
Humpading.
Yeah. His audition will be great. I think Marcus can agree with me on that one.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
Inconceivable.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I love that movie. Since I was a kid, I love that movie. But I love that movie just as much today as I did then. Love it. So, those were the girl scores. And then on the boys' side, we weren't even done with the girl scores. Hampton County 50, Barnwell 30, Hilton Head Prep 50, Carleton Prep 38. So they were both unbeaten in the region. Hilton Head Prep now the front runner, undefeated. So they're looking good. And then on the boys' side, Bishop England 57, Buford 55, a real battle there. Buford stays winless. Bluffton 47, Carleton County 33. So they keep pace at the top along with May River, who won 57-48 over Hilton Head. Hampton County, number 3 team in the state in Class 2A, just came out today, new polls. 57-30 over Barnwell. By the way, Bluffton 6th, May River 10th in Class 4A, and Bridges Prep checked in at number 10 in Class 2A. Looking for their score tonight. And Hilton Head Prep routed Carleton Prep 76-26. If you got other scores, let us know. That's what we got. What jumps out, boys?
I tell you what, Hilton Head Prep continues to roll. They, on both girls and guys, they look terrific.
That's a 50-point win. Goodness.
Yeah, I was on Talk of the Town today, and obviously I recapped what JJ and I saw last week. Certainly mentioned some great things about what John Paul II has going on with both the girls and guys. And then there actually are some changes thanks to the snow. We are actually going to get 4 different, we are going to get to gyms in all of the games that we have the rest of the way for WHHI. Originally, we were going to do the last game in studio, just have Maria recorded on Tuesday the 11th. That's changed. So Friday, we will continue to have May River at Beaufort. And then Tuesday the 11th, short week, obviously, we will see May River at Bluffton. And then Thursday the 13th, we will have Hilton Head at Beaufort. Friday's game will premiere on the 15th. The game on the 11th will premiere on the 18th. The game on the 13th will premiere on the 22nd on WHHI. And the game that you and I did, JJ, will premiere Saturday. WHHI on Hargray, Spectrum, Roku, Fire TV, YouTube TV. You can catch it all. And then certainly we'll have it running on social media as well via, a little bit of a different feed there, probably the YouTube airing. So that's the schedule as of today, and that's what we got going on.
Cool.
Nice.
Very good. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a couple of Lowco teams going at it in the lower state finals in the wrestling. May River is a unit. They're a tank.
Yeah.
They rolled into it last night with a 57-11 win over Gilbert, who was ranked 6th in the state. Now they get number 8, Aiken, at home in the deep end on Wednesday night. So it looks like the Sharks are headed most likely to another state championship match, and this time they'll be the favorites. It'll be either Fountain Inn or somebody else. It's a couple of the higher. It was Lawrence and Fountain Inn. South Point was knocked off.
Wow,
So
I
Lawrence
think
versus Fountain Inn.
it's looking pretty favorable right now. Obviously, you can't discount any of those teams, but I kind of feel like May River is they're churning right now, and it's going to be hard to stop them at this point. And I think they're in really
I
good
think
shape.
they're a pretty heavy favorite. They were the only one of the top 8 finishers last year in 4A who are still 4A.
Wow.
It's just
Ashley
a
Powell,
weird thing.
It could be his moment. Could be the moment for Ashley Powell right there.
I think it's going to happen, man. I do.
Yep.
And I think they're going to bring a whole slew of medals back from the individual state championship too. I mean, and they will have earned it, man. They've built that program year over year over year. It just got better and better. And, they started off from scratch. And I remember it was pretty quick. They had a guy going to state and placing. And next thing you knew, they had a whole lineup of guys who knew what they were doing. And now they're impressive right now. I'm telling you, they're impressive. That room is running really well, and kids are getting better every day. So it's a cool thing. Bridges Prep also in the lower state finals in 2A. They'll take on Buford. That's Buford, not Beaufort. So they'll be going all the way up to Buford from Beaufort. And that's going to be a chore. Bridges has had a heck of a run. They knocked off Edisto last night after losing to them by 18, 48-30 in the region duels. But Buford are ranked at 5th right now. Bridges Prep came into these playoffs ranked 20th in Class 2A, and they're one of the last 4 teams standing. So they've done tremendous work to make it this far. If it falls short at Buford, it will be no shame. That program is building and going in the right direction. So we'll see how they turn out tomorrow night. If they win, we definitely gonna have to get Coach Hagan and the Bucks on the show from afar, wherever they are. Although tomorrow night we may not have a show because after USCB, we're all going to be very tired unless Max wants to do it himself. I'm going to bet on no show tomorrow, and we bring it back.
We'll go again Thursday, and
that would be my bet.
A lot to talk about. Yeah, should be a good time.
Boys, I am running out of steam. You boys want to keep talking hoops for a bit?
Sounds good.
All right. Next, I'm going to shout out a few sponsors here right quick, and then I'm going to let you boys have at it. And I'm going to go take a shower and go to bed. But we welcome back Hudson Seafood House on the Docks as the Lowco Booster Club member. Great place for seafood, sunsets, and cocktails on Hilton Head Island. Man, it would have been a great evening to sit out at Hudson.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
gorgeous
beautiful night in the Lowco.
Gorgeous night.
They're the presenting sponsor of Under the Bus. We had a new episode air earlier tonight, so it's out there on the YouTubes, and we'll get it out on the podcast platforms ASAP. And then we got Base Hit Life, our baseball and softball themed apparel sponsor. Live your best base hit life and check out some great styles over at basehitlife.com. Dr. Ambrose Cole, our official chiropractor. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right, mind, body, and spirit. Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor, presenting sponsor of the Lowco Grind, and really the driving force behind a lot of the wrestling success we're seeing here in the Lowco. We love the folks at Reverence. And Jay's Barbershop, the place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not. Right downtown, go check them out. Get you some tacos while you're down there. Just pick a taco spot. They're all good. Savannah Pizza Company, not bad either. And Fiddler's Seafood is terrific. So you really can't go wrong downtown Ridgeland. There's a lot of places. Eats the Sweets. There's a lot of good places to eat in downtown Ridgeland. I ain't lying. But boys, I'm gonna leave it to you guys. Leave it in your capable hands, and I'll see you boys tomorrow. But I will promise to stay loco. All right. Have a good one.
Sounds great. See you, JJ.
Alrighty. Well, we do. I mean, there's a lot more to talk about tonight when it comes to basketball. A lot of interesting games. Bluffton getting another good win against Colleton County. May River edging out Hilton Head, although I heard that was a very good game between those two teams. Obviously, Hampton County is continuing to go on a roll, winning 57-30 over Barnwell. Hilton Head Prep winning by 50 over Colleton Prep. Holy
good.
Nurse. That is quite the statement right there. Quite the statement.
Oh well, I mean they've been making statements all year long, but I mean that's Wes, you're
right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
That's all good.
To play on here, just tremendous win. Hilton Head Prep is rolling right now. Doing it in stop with a 50-point win. Like obviously Colleton Prep not on their level at all, but Hilton Head Prep showing why they are looking good into the meat of the season, into the deciding couple weeks of the season.
I think that kind of shows the rest of the division that they're gonna try and roll over anyone and everyone that stands in their way of a state title at this point. I have a feeling that's where it's at right now. I mean, I think we saw with where the division was, at least for the region. I don't know about any of the teams on the upper state side, but I have a feeling none of them are going to match with a team like that, especially when you got Heartbrain running that court. You know, like he is. I mean, we've talked about it. He probably is the best player, the best and most finely tuned basketball player we have in this area right now, without a doubt. You know, Wes, your mic's muted again, buddy.
I would agree with that for sure, Max. I mean, he has so much skill. He's got a great shot. He can certainly work off the ball as well. I got to see him a few times and was really, really impressed with his game. The one thing that I can say about a lot of these teams, especially the 7-4As and the other teams that I cover and that I call, you know, they do a great job of buying in top to bottom. You know, coaches buy into what the athletic department wants, directors and whatnot. And then the players and assistant coaches buy into what the head coaches want. And everybody, not that it's always easy, but everybody's on the same page,
right?
With the mantra for the teams, and that means a lot.
Yeah, and you know the crazy thing is we're not that far out from SCISA playoffs beginning. You know, and so I think this is a good sign for Prep. I mean, they've been solid all year long. I mean, they've only had a couple losses here and there. One to St. Andrews, which that St. Andrews team has continued to go on a roll. I've been paying attention to them ever since that win over Hilton Head Prep, and I was like, wow, this team's really good. Marcus, Kevin has a question for you. Do the Beaufort boys have a chance against May River on Friday?
Let's take a look at these highlights from as you say that from this May River Hilton Head game.
Yeah.
Okay. I will say this, and I actually talked to Robin about that today.
Last week for 3, no good. Rebound Johnson.
Well, this was a tight
one. Stewart picks it up.
Yeah.
Fast break now. 3-on-1. Butler. Hunter has it. Layup is good.
See, this is a very physical Hilton Head High School
layup.
Team. This is what I love.
Floater no good.
They make me fight
Stewart
for it.
has the rebound. Gets to Kyrie. We saw him explode for a 25-point game last time we covered him. Bowman layup is good.
It was a surge tonight.
Attacks the rim.
Any way we can turn Tristan down a little bit? I can't hear you guys.
Yeah, let's
Albert Smith for 3. No good. Albert Smith gets the rebound. Duncan for 2.
Might be a little better.
Falls.
Yep.
Even a little bit lower.
Even a little bit lower.
Wouldn't hurt.
Back out the
you only hear the great voice of Javad Livingston and his partner over there.
Yeah, that's true. So we can hear him now. I will say this: Beaufort has been disappointing this year.
If I can get back to Kevin's question first, if you don't mind, I think that the Beaufort guys and girls do have a chance at home to make it interesting. I think the Beaufort May River girls game has a chance to be legit, especially from what I just saw with them playing Bluffton, talking about Beaufort. I think the Beaufort guys are going to have to come out ready to go right at tip, and they're going to have to play a full 32 minutes. But with it being at home, that could definitely prove to be a little bit of motivation because they got smoked 70-37 in the first matchup between the two teams not that long ago. So I think they can make it a game and keep it a game. Will they win? I don't know, but I think they can definitely make things interesting, especially with the fact it's a home
I'm
game.
impressed by how well they played against Bishop England. They lost by 2 points. They gave them a fight, and that's a pretty solid Bishop England team.
The thing for me is, it is a good Bishop England team.
And how much will you get in terms of buy-in? Like, you'd love to see them continue to compete late down the stretch of the season. Obviously, they're in this point where they're falling out of a chance at the playoffs. So now it's like, can you get that continued buy-in when your season goes in that kind of direction? I think they will. They always have motivated kids over there. Huff's a great coach. You think that something's going to work out well for them. I feel like they've still got some talented guys, but can they find a way to make it all click as we get to
Definitely got to look out for Samari, a couple other guys, but he is a huge leader on that team.
He is one heck of a shooter. He lit it up tonight, 4 3-pointers. But Gage Duncan, just a do-it-all scorer, and he is really tough to hold down. Even when the Seahawks are trying to do it, he was able to knock down some shots, and there is
here's my thing with Beaufort. That game against Bishop England, at one point, they were up going into half. I had a feeling that they could have beaten Bishop England with ease going in that second half. But Bishop England just played the better second half. Like, I think that's one of the biggest issues for me with Beaufort, is if they have a close game in the first half, they don't finish the second half very well. And that's been one of their biggest issues this year. Look, like May Rivers so far this season, I don't know if I've seen a half where they haven't played well. Like first or
I don't think I have.
It's been portions, but they find a way. It seems like every game that they played, most region games this season, for sure. But they find that spark, and it normally comes from from Gage Duncan, Tanner Macy, or a lot of the times Andrew Johnson with his ability to stroke it. He is one heck of a shooter, and he was huge in this game to really spark them. And then it was really Gage Duncan from then on. Hilton Head was right there. I mean, they had a lead throughout the end of the first half and into the second half, and they were knocking on the door of this game, and they really found their game the last 8 minutes or so in that fourth quarter and really into that.
I mean, this is a tough Hilton Head team, and I hope they make playoffs. Like, I really do. I have a feeling they could shock some people with how tough and how well they play.
I agree.
They played well. I just, the problem they have is May River and Bluffton have played better this season. Otherwise, I think Hilton Head
I can't wait for those two teams to play each other twice in a few days. Coming up next week.
Yeah, twice, I believe, next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it'll be so fun.
So that's going to be great. Battle for Bluffton, that's going to be really fun. I was hoping to see that on that Friday. Of course, we had the snow and everything, but I'm excited for those games. That's. I'm going to put it this way: if Bluffton and May River weren't very good, this Hilton Head team would be sitting in first place right now. Like that's that's how good they are. Like
they're a juggernaut too.
Yeah. I think Hilton Head gonna
Reese Stewart is their one real knockdown shooter, but in terms of others, they don't have any electric 3-point shooters. They have Bowman. Kyrus Bowman's been tremendous, especially lately, and Tajay Wright's been very effective. They have a good post player in Lucky Johnson. If he's on, he can make some things happen out there on offense, but they'll find a way to hang in at most nights with their defense. But
Kevin, you're exactly right. Their defense is outstanding. Matt Whitmore's intensity has rubbed off. Certainly, Kyle Bennett has that intensity coming from Kentucky, not far from Matt Whitmore, who grew up just a few minutes away from me. So that's definitely a Midwestern way of
they really
playing
do. They really
basketball.
do
And
make sure
Terry
to take
Kicks is
quality
doing the
shots.
same thing.
They
Being
really
the
do make sure to
Chiefs.
take quality shots. They are very well coached,
Yeah.
and they get the guys they need to. They get them the basketball, and most of them are high percentage shots that they are able to find and hit. And this is a good example of just weathering the storm that Hilton presented. Where I thought Hilton played better this meeting than the last one, where Mayweather ran all over him, but still the Sharks were able to outwit them and outplay them. Just really, really tremendous performance.
It makes me wonder that loss Mayweather had against Paulding County. I wish I was at the game to understand what went wrong for Mayweather, because they're such a solid team and they played so.
The defense was on point too. They were blocking shots in bunches tonight.
Yeah, this was the part of the game I think where Mayweather started to.
Right. This because only 2-point game at this juncture, and then what a pass!
What a pass.
I mean,
Yeah,
just an incredible bounce pass right there. Set that bucket.
Oh man.
Beautiful offense.
Yeah.
Hunter for three. No good. Rebound right. Floater. Can't get it to go right. Puts it back.
Tajay Wright's such a great player.
He is so good. I was so impressed with him when I saw them play. The couple of times that I've seen the guys play, I think I've seen them a couple of times, but especially against that team out of the Savannah area that they played. That I saw him, Richmond Hill. I saw him against Richmond Hill, and he went off, especially in the first half. I think he had 14 that night, and he is just a baller. A lot of the offense goes through him. He always comes up with big plays.
Yep.
Duncan layup. It's good.
Man.
H. Duncan, that was easy.
Yeah, I mean, it was. They blitzed in the last that 2 minutes before that last 2 minutes. For the last 2 minutes of the game, they just completely kept attacking them, and Hilton had really had no answer. And that was it. That was it. Hilton didn't really do much after that. They had one last burst in them, but wasn't enough to come back. They're already down 10 or 9 points.
Yeah. Is Reese Stewart? Is he a senior?
I believe a junior or senior.
I'm thinking he's a junior. I will look that.
He is a senior.
Oh, you got it.
I'm just trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how young this Hilton Head team is.
Yeah, I mean they have.
Looks like for that program.
They do. They tend to reload very quickly, but they do have a couple seniors. Kyrie is a senior. Lucky Johnson's a senior. Reese is a senior, and so is McKenna Allen. Josh. They do have a lot of seniors this year. So they'll definitely have to be. Tajay's a junior, but most of the rest of the starters are seniors, including Caleb Spangler, who has put in some quality minutes as well.
Okay,
so
all right.
They're going to lose a decent amount.
Yeah, they're going to lose a bunch.
Yeah.
And look out for Tajay Wright next year to really be the anchor. From what I'm just saying, he's going to be even better too.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They have found some diamonds in the rough at times, but they'll definitely need some more guys coming up from the JV ranks next.
No question.
This Mayweather team is legit. I think that it's right there with Boston. I kind of like the way Mayweather's playing right now, just the collective nature of their game, and on top of that, the way that they're unselfish. That you can have that one guy get red hot in Johnson, but Gage Duncan, when he takes the game over, he is close to unstoppable. It just seems in this region there is not much that we have seen guys do to defend him, because he just finds his way to get to the rim and make things happen. It's a very difficult guy to hold down.
Man. He's an athlete. That's given. I mean, we've seen him tearing up the football field.
Macy's turned into a better player too. I like what I've seen.
I said, all the way back before football season started, when I interviewed Terry Kicks and Kyle Bennett, and I got to see the girls practice a little bit entirely, and in their entirety. And then just for some B-roll, I had Gage, Tanner, or I asked Coach. I said, I just need a couple of guys to see him shoot, whatnot, do some drills, whatever you want. And he chose Gage, he chose Tanner, and he chose Will Bostwick. And of course, all three of those names, and I've said this before. Those guys from football, how they've grown and how they really matured on the basketball floor has really impressed me this year. And I've seen a good bit of May River. Again, this is going to be the first time, obviously, that I'm calling them this year, but I've seen a good bit of them. They, Hilton Head Prep, and JP2. Those three teams, top to bottom, girls and guys, have impressed me the most in terms of both programs being ready to compete, win the big games, make the big plays.
Yeah.
A lot of other great teams that have either very good girls programs or very good guys programs right now. Those three are both on the same level, and that same level is really good.
For me right now, a team that programs to add into that conversation for me would be Bluffton. Because I think with that boys team, they've shown up in big games. But the girls team,
the girls are starting to get a little bit on a roll.
The girls
You're
team
right.
are starting to catch heat, which is good to see. But they got a long ways to go as a program to grow. But I think what we saw
Clarissa's doing a great job. Clarissa.
Who was it the other night? Who did they play the other night? Was it Hilton Head? No, it wasn't Hilton Head. It was
I saw him against Buford last week.
I'm trying to think.
They got beat, but
Boston got a big win against girls team. Got a big win against someone. Who was it? It was last week. Was it last week or maybe it was? It may have been last week. Maybe it was. Yeah, it was against. Was it against Buford?
I'll look it up. They lost to Buford last Tuesday night. I was there. I'll look it up for you, Max.
Yeah, thank you. Like Bluffton, I think the girls team, the program's growing. And with the coaching staff they have, it's going to be really fun to see.
Right.
The boys team, while great, what they'll be losing in the offseason will be interesting. But I think that boys team is one of my favorites right now. Like, I think when they make playoffs, they're only a 2-loss team in overall record. Which, by the way, when they played May River, it's starting to look more and more like it will be a battle for the region because they are both sitting at 1 loss in region play, and the way it's going, they're going to be 1 loss by the time they face each other. That's just how good these two teams have been playing as of late. So I'm very excited to see those 2 games being played within a span of like 3 or 4 days, something like that. 2 games, like 4 days.
They beat Hilton Head 35-31 on the 31st.
That's
the game.
I
saw the game before that. So that was Friday.
Yeah.
Friday night.
That was the one. Yeah, and that win shocked me because I wasn't expecting it out of Bluffton. For them to get a win like that, it shows me that this team is growing and getting better and better each day, which is really good to see.
Absolutely.
From a program that we didn't know how they were going to do this year and how much they could potentially struggle because they lost so much from last season, going into this year. You just didn't know what to expect. But they started rough, but they're definitely getting there. I'm very excited to see this program grow. And they will definitely grow over the next couple seasons. And I think they're going to be a team in this region that's going to, 2 seasons out from now, going to be really dangerous to play against.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it seems like that coaching staff, obviously, like May River with their 2 programs and some of the other coaches that are new to this area that we talk about, they're putting their imprint on it. It's the fine line between putting your imprint on it and trying to stay, competitive to above competitive to keep yourself within this region where you're, battling for positioning in a region where literally everybody's beating up on everybody. The girls now at Bluffton are 11-9. They're not out of anything when you look at that because they're over 500, and the way this region is going to shake out in girls and guys action. I can't wait to call these next 6 games in the next little over a week.
Someone's got to take down Bishop England eventually.
Right.
But I mean, that's been one of the stronger women's programs in the state over the last few years. That they're a storied powerhouse program. But I have a feeling eventually some of these girls teams, including May River and Beaufort, eventually, and hopefully Bluffton, one day will catch up, and it'll be a much more fascinating region than it already is right now. So like it's going to be there. It's going to get there. It's just going to take some time. But I think um, that Bishop England Beaufort game, which was tonight, I believe, just shows me how good that Bishop England team is. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
They are such a strong looking team right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how far they go in playoffs, because I know they aren't the only powerhouse within 4A girls basketball. So we'll see how they do. I'm extremely excited to see Beaufort as they head towards the playoffs, because I think at this point we know that they have a very good chance of making it in. So
And I'll see him at home twice.
Yes,
Beaufort.
you will.
On the 7th and the 13th.
And the balloons are coming out from Marcus Wash. I don't know if you just saw that, dude. That was hilarious. He put up the peace sign and balloons started flying.
I'll say this as far as Bishop England goes. They've got Colleton County tomorrow, according to Max Preps, and then they've got Colleton County on the 11th, and then they play Bluffton at Bluffton, and the matchup tomorrow is at Colleton County. That's not an easy place to play by any stretch.
That might be one of the hardest places to play in the region.
Yeah. And then they're at Bluffton. The Den is not easy. I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
That's on February 7th, and then they host Colleton County on February 11th. So that's not an easy stretch.
It's not an easy
for
stretch,
Bishop England, who comes in at 18-3.
Yeah, it's not an easy stretch. Colleton County might give him some issues. That's a loud stadium, but believe it or not, basketball games at Bishop England. I've been to a basketball game at Bishop England before, both a men's and women's game, years ago, and that's a huge gym in terms of seating, and they pack it out. I mean, they sell that place out, and it gets loud in there. But yeah, I think Bishop England, at least for the girls, the boys team has been a little more disappointing for me. I had a feeling they were going to be up there with Bluffton and May River this season, and they just haven't. And it's not been close. They've been a middle of the pack team this entire season. So we'll see how they do. They'll probably improve their program over the next couple seasons as well. I have a feeling they're kind of in like a rebuild year this year, because they've had some good basketball teams over the last couple of years. So, but yeah, I mean, this region is so exciting to watch, both men's and women's, and I just have a feeling over time it's going to get more and more interesting. The longer these teams stay together within this region, it's going to make it really fun. Really, no matter what sport it is. I mean, football this season was fantastic.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Volleyball was fun to watch this season in this region.
This basketball season's been great, too.
Basketball season's been great, and I am excited for spring sports.
Can't wait until baseball and softball and soccer as well.
Baseball is going to be fun, because Bishop England's got a solid baseball program from what the experts are saying. At least the coaches poll has put them as the only team within our region in the 4A preseason rankings. So I have a feeling that's going to be a good Bishop England team. May River is going to be on the hunt, see if they can get a region championship this time around after coming up short against James Island last year, which, by the way, that James Island team that I saw last spring when they played at May River and lost to May River, their starting pitcher, I believe he's at a D1 program right now, like a top-level D1 program, and that dude was throwing at least 95-mile-an-hour fastball to some of these May River hitters last season. So I'm so glad that James Island team is no longer in our region and or division, because they also got ranked in the preseason polls as the number one team in the 5A division. So like see May River beat James Island last year was really fun to watch. But I'm excited for spring sports, because I have a feeling softball and baseball in this region is going to be really fun to watch. May River softball is going to be really fun to watch. Hopefully Bluffton and
May River had a great year last season, and I expect another one.
And I have a feeling they're going to have another good year this year. Hilton Head, I think they're still growing as a program. They were an extremely young program last year as a softball program. They're going to be still somewhat young again this year, but have some experience under their belt. Bluffton, I'm excited to see what Bluffton looks like. And then, of course, Bishop England softball and baseball for that matter. I'm intrigued to see how both programs look because they've had some strong programs over the years. But spring sports, believe it or not, is not far from now.
It's already started at USCB. We've had baseball and softball, and we'll fire it back up this weekend. Yeah.
High school baseball practices started on Monday.
Monday, yeah.
High school started on Monday, and so do the rest of the area's schools. Soccer's soon to get started as well. I'm sure Misa is excited for another season.
I'm ready for some soccer.
So it's that soccer region, by the way, last season was so much fun to watch, and I have a feeling it's going to be the same this year.
Girls has been great. The guys should be solid as well. Bishop England, once again, they're going to be a factor in this as well.
Yes, they will. Yeah. Yes, they will. They've been known to have some really strong soccer programs.
They historically do. So those should be some good ones, especially with May River and Hilton Head and Bluffton as well.
The fact that we're talking about spring sports right now, we haven't even finished basketball season yet, and we still don't even know who's going to win the men's region.
Yeah, it's always a fun time of year.
This is what the Region 6 4A is. It's just exciting, no matter what sport it is, and we love every bit of it.
So coming up after Wednesday, tomorrow. Of course, the main event, the big games of the night. Well, we actually have a couple because we have wrestling, the state lower state championship for the 4A classification. So May River will be gunning for their spot, which I think they have a fantastic shot at this point. It's not just get to the state championship, but win it this year. They will face off with, as I get back to my schedule here. Goodness, it's slow right now. Yeah, no, we didn't update. Okay, well, I'll look at the bracket then for the high school league because
for May River, if I'm not mistaken, they're facing Aiken tomorrow.
Okay, yes, that's correct. Aiken. I was blanking on what it was. All right, so Aiken on Wednesday. The winner of that goes to the state title bout on Saturday.
Obviously the Sharks' #1 team in wrestling this year. Aiken, I believe, is ranked 8th in the state coming into this. So they beat out. I think they lost. They beat out. Who was it? I think it was Hartsville. I think they beat Hartsville the other night to get into this one against May River. So this should be very interesting. Aiken's doing really good right now, but I have a feeling May River is going to have another great showing tomorrow. And then, of course, they'll be playing.
Yeah, and then we got a lot going on at the Cove, men's and women's basketball.
Oh, I'm excited.
Against Lander, women in an important one for them, but the guys' game should be absolutely epic. And it's a very winnable one for the Sand Sharks, in my opinion. If they play up to the standards that we saw this past week at Clayton State, I think they got a great shot in that. And we got some high school basketball, a couple of region games actually. Battery Creek at North Charleston, Hampton County against Bridges. Are these makeup games? Because they're normally not.
I have a feeling they are.
I think they are.
Yeah,
I think
these
we
must
talked,
be the makeup games,
especially with that Battery Creek matchup. I think we talked about that.
Battery Creek.
That those games were going to be.
Yeah, that's an important one for them. Both the guys and the girls. We got Hampton Bridges Cross Schools taking on JP2, and then Thomas Hayward at Patrick Henry, which is always a big Skeeza rivalry.
Yeah, that's a rivalry
over there. And then not much on Thursday, just one game, Hardyville, Denmark, Olar. So a late night there, but Friday is going to be another big one.
Not action.
A lot more high school basketball. Bishop England at Bluffton. That is going to be a fantastic game, especially on the guys' side. A lot of pressure on Bluffton to keep pace at May River. Sharks will host Beaufort, which sounds like a trap game.
Sharks travel.
The girls' game should be fantastic too.
Sharks travel to Beaufort.
Yes,
Beaufort is hosting.
The girls' game should be great as well. So that's going to be a great place to be on Friday. And then Colleton at Hilton Head. So an important one for the Seahawks on both the guys and the girls' side. But we also have baseball at 5 p.m. over in Hardyville. the Sand Sharks taking on Albany State in a 5 o'clock first pitch. So I will be out there, and if we can get through it fast enough, I could head over to Bluffton and see the end of that Bluffton Bishop England basketball game. So hopefully we don't have a marathon 3.5 hour game with 10,000 pitching changes, so I can watch some basketball that night.
But yeah, I mean, and then you got Saturday. USCB is having a field day on Saturday. That's for sure. Both softball and baseball double doubles, and then to finish off the night for USCB, primetime matchups.
Yes, Saturday primetime
for men's and women's basketball. I believe 5:30. 5:30 for the women's games, and then 7:30 Saturday night prime time live on the Sand Shark
and for some dessert, more softball on Sunday before the big
Cherry
game
on top.
Yeah, before the big game that night. Eckerd at USCB.
We got a lot to talk about come Thursday for the upcoming week and weekend.
Yeah.
So
let's we've already passed an hour, so let's go through the rest of our sponsors. If you have the sheet in front of you, Max, and wrap this thing up.
Yeah, let's do it, guys.
Yep. Let's see here. Google. Sorry, let me get it up real quick. I have it right here. If my computer decides it wants to work tonight. Boy, the internet's slow today. Jeez. Here we go. Please load. Let's see. What did Justin show? He did our MVP sponsors, our Lowco sponsors. Let's see here. Did he do? Oh yeah, he didn't. All right. So, Base Hit Life, our baseball and softball themed apparel sponsor. Great people. I have, of course, a hoodie from them, and it's one of the most comfortable hoodies I've ever had. So please go check out Base Hit Life. Live your best base hit life at basehitlife.com. And then visit Dr. Ambrose Cole, our official chiropractor of Lowco Sports. You can find him at Rooted Living Wellness in Bluffton, and he'll get you feeling right in mind, body, and spirit. The Reverence Wrestling Club, our official wrestling sponsor and presenting sponsor of course, the Lowco Grind, which I'm sure we're going to have one of those sooner rather than later as wrestling season is starting to wrap up. And then, of course, Jay's Barbershop. The place to be in Ridgeland, whether you need a haircut or not, go check out Jay's Barbershop. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of fun with that Thomas Hayward, Patrick Henry boys game as it comes around. So, yeah, it's going to be great. So those are our, I believe, our Lowco sponsors. So, gentlemen, parting thoughts. Wes, your mic is muted again.
I got some final thoughts.
Yes, please.
For tonight.
Go for it.
I have two of them. For the first one that I saw today is one that you will find pretty interesting, Max.
Okay.
The Major League Baseball announced it that MLB The Show, the video game, which is one of the most popular baseball simulation video game, is going to have for the first time college teams in the career road to the show mode.
Oh yeah.
Now the unfortunate thing is, I think there's only like 7 or 8 colleges you can choose from. The ones that we saw, the ones that I've seen on Twitter right now, LSU, Tennessee, UCLA, TCU, Cal State Fullerton, Texas, Vanderbilt, and South Carolina.
What? Why? No, I'm just kidding. That's fine. Yeah, those are all great programs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, those are programs that have been storied and have been successful for a while.
Oh, that's great.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's great. I'm excited for that. I did see a video about that today. I'm very excited. And for the first time ever in MLB The Show 25, metal bats will be optional in the game as well. So you'll have metal bats.
Okay.
Too.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. Thank you for sharing that with us. I was hoping to talk about that tonight, but because Wes did it, I'm very happy now.
That's cool. So you can use metal bats in the game as well.
Yes, I believe at the college level, as you're going up, because I think it starts. If I saw the video properly,
It starts at the high school level. Maybe.
you start your career at the high school level, and then you go from high school to college.
That's cool.
Then to minors, and then of course Major League Baseball, which I think that's absolutely
that's
amazing.
awesome.
By the way, I feel like college football should like follow that. You know how they used to do it in the old NCAA video
I'm
games,
sure they
where
will
did the
eventually.
high school, and then college. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I'm sure
that's right.
they will.
I'm very excited for that. I'm definitely getting that game when it comes out because it is one of my favorite video games to play. I'll just sit in the
MLB
middle
The
of the night.
Shows, it's always
If I can't sleep, I'll just turn on my MLB The Show and just play Home Run Derby mode and just whack some mammoth balls at Coors Field in Denver. See how far I can hit a home run with Babe Ruth.
600 feet.
Get
Probably knowing the altitude there.
Get Griffey Jr. out there and just start blasting some home runs. Anyway, any other parting thoughts, Wes?
You go ahead. I got another one. But you go ahead next.
Oh, okay. Well, I got a few. I got 3. I'll do them very quickly.
Yeah, sure.
First off, actually, I think Marcus will be interested in 2 of these. The first one I saw, Dick Vitale. So he did not do the Duke North Carolina game, but I did see
he wasn't supposed to either. He hasn't called a Duke North Carolina game in ages. He was supposed to do the Duke Wake Forest game, but had an accident at home.
Yes, he did.
He's coming back though.
He's coming back, and he is coming
I'll
back.
be watching Saturday night.
This Saturday, and guess where he will be? He will be at Little John Coliseum. South Carolina, as Clemson will be taking on the Duke Blue Devils. So I'm very excited to see Dick Vitale. I don't know if he's ever been at a game in Little John Coliseum.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I'm not sure he has.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't think
if he has, it would have been against maybe North Carolina or something like that.
Or Duke again.
I definitely know it wasn't ever a Duke game that he was at Little John Coliseum. But so very excited for that. It should be a very good game, by the way, between Clemson and Duke, I hope.
I agree.
Top 2 teams in the ACC standings. So the other one, I just recently saw this. You're not going to like this one, Marcus. Myles Garrett has officially asked to be released by the Cleveland Browns. And I had a feeling this one was coming because, my God, the Cleveland Browns need to figure something out, and they need to figure it out fast.
Well, they haven't figured out much since they came back in 1999.
Yeah. So the last thing I would add is another former Cleveland sports player. Apparently, there are rumors going around, and we will see if those rumors become reality. That LeBron James could be moving to another team from the Lakers before the trade deadline.
Good surprise now with the big trade that occurred.
Well, and that's the thing. And apparently the Golden State Warriors are trying to go after either LeBron James or Kevin Durant. I'm intrigued by that one.
Wow. Oh, I didn't hear about Durant. Oh.
Goodness, what is happening right now? These big this is abnormal to see these big time in season.
Does anybody remember the days when Chris Paul could have been a Laker and then David Stern said no, we're good. We don't need that. Chris Paul and Kobe Bryant together on the team. Yeah. There was a time when the commissioner and the board, the NBA board, would say no to a trade. I just feel like they don't say no anymore.
Yeah, it's like your fantasy football league where you're one guy puts like these outrageous trades and you have to veto them because they're too outlandish.
Yeah, it's just we'll see what happens, but I thought I'd share those with you. But any other parting thoughts?
Marcus, do you have one?
I actually do have a quick one. I got on Facebook Live today to talk to folks for about a half an hour, a lot about high school basketball, a few other things that have been mentioned here. But one of the really good Cleveland Guardians and Cleveland Indians pitchers, and just a good all-around guy, is heading back to New York in the pinstripes of the New York Yankees, and I'm talking about one Carlos Carrasco.
Is he really?
He came back, yesterday. He got the deal done where he's heading to the Yankees. He came back last year to Cleveland after spending a few years in New York with the Mets, and he's just had so many injuries over the last few years.
Oh, and he dealt with cancer too.
I have said before, and I said it earlier this afternoon, the turning point in his career goes back to about 2000 and I'll say 15. I think it was the year before the World Series run,
Yeah.
which would have been 15, that Cleveland decided to take him out of the starting rotation and put him in the bullpen. And he wasn't in the bullpen for the whole year, but it really helped him in terms of his delivery without
Yeah.
having to use the windup. They bring him back as a starter and say, try going at it on the mound as a starter without using the windup. It worked.
It did
And
work.
he hasn't done it since.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that really keyed him to have all the success towards the middle and later portions of his Cleveland career out of the set position, not using the windup. Then you mentioned it, Max, the 2019 season with him having leukemia. And I mean, if you watch that All-Star game, it was the first All-Star game that Cleveland hosted since 1997. There were two very significant moments in that game that, as a Cleveland baseball fan, gave me chills and practically gave me tears. The fifth inning, Shane Bieber came in and just knocked down the NL 1-2-3. I think he only threw 9 pitches.
Right, he did.
Shut him down. It may have even been an immaculate inning as well. I don't know that for sure.
I don't remember.
Shut him down, and then in the 7th inning, either the 6th or 7th inning, obviously they do the stand up to cancer, and you had Terry Francona and Jose Ramirez, and I'm trying to think of who else made that All-Star team for Cleveland besides Carrasco. I want to say. No, Michael Brantley wasn't on the team. There was somebody else too. And they all had the sign that said, I stand up, Carlos Santana. I stand up for Cookie. And obviously he was right next to them. He said, I stand up for me. I mean, what a moment.
Yeah, they called Carlos Cookie.
Okay.
I love that name.
And
that's a great nickname.
Do you know how he got that nickname?
I don't remember.
I know the answer to this, as you may figure. They were ironically on their way to New York, Yankee Stadium, and they were on the plane, and obviously the flight attendants were just saying, what do you all like to eat as far as snacks on the plane? And Carlos said, I love chocolate chip cookies. And the flight attendant got him a pack of Famous Amos cookies, and then they were on the same plane heading home, and sure enough, Carlos gets to his seat, and what's there on his seat? A pack of Famous Amos cookies, which are pretty dang good, if I may say. So that's how he got the nickname Cookie. I thought that was great.
Can I just say the stand-up to cancer that they do at the All-Star game?
I love it.
It might be my
They do it at the World Series, too, I believe.
They do it at the World Series, but that might be one of my favorite moments during the All-Star game is when everybody stands up and holds up a sign. Because I think all of us have had at least one family member in our lifetime that has dealt with some sort of cancer or has unfortunately not been able to continue their fight with cancer, but
I've got both accounts on that one.
For Major League Baseball to do that every year at the All-Star game, I think is the coolest experience. And I look forward to seeing that in Atlanta this coming summer, because that's where the All-Star game will be held this year for the first time ever at Truist Park. Very excited for that. I was like, maybe I should get tickets, and then I've realized how much the ticket costs per person, and it's about $5.
It's not a cheap ticket. You guys have both been to Truist, right?
Yes, fantastic stadium.
Beautiful ballpark. I went there, met my brother there a few years ago, saw the Pittsburgh Pirates play there. Beautiful ballpark.
So yeah, I'm excited, man. I mean, look, we're talking baseball, man. It's not even March yet. We haven't even started training.
We've got only like 2 weeks until pitchers and catchers report, and then like a week to a week and a half after that, I'm going to be listening to Tom Hamilton and Jim Rosenhaus calling Guardians games.
I mean, believe it or not, we've started Division II baseball. We are 10 days away from starting Division I baseball, and literally in a couple weeks, we have catchers and pitchers reporting for spring training. It's crazy to think how fast this year has gone. How quickly it's coming. But fellas, do we have any more?
Yes, one more party thoughts. Okay. Well, kind of two. Tomorrow I'll be headed to Bluffton to cover the National Signing Day. Yeah, of course, tomorrow's National Signing Day, so we'll definitely have to recap that on Thursday. and talk about all the signees for football and other sports in the winter signing day period. So
Yeah, dude, let us know how that
we'll
goes.
report
That'd be
there
very
on
good.
Thursday. And
Yeah.
one more thing, tomorrow is a special day around the country, the national sports scene. It is National Girls and Women in Sports Day tomorrow.
Oh, very
So
nice.
it certainly honors
Yes.
the amazing work that both women and girls at high school level and younger have done to participate in athletics and all the accomplishments that they have earned and achieved. So we have some amazing female athletes around here, and we're going to see some of them in action tomorrow over at the Cove. So
Speaking of women's,
and across the Lowco, some other sports as well. So just wanted to shout out all the outstanding female athletes, outstanding female coaches who are doing some awesome things around the Lowco, and celebrating them tomorrow, National Girls and Women's Sports Day.
Yeah, speaking of which, thank you so much, Wes, for calling that out. Speaking of which, when it comes to women's sports, one of the greatest women coaches of all time, Pat Summitt, of course, passed away a couple years ago. I just found out earlier this week that Tennessee, or more so Nashville, are trying to acquire a WNBA expansion team. And they're trying to name that team the Tennessee Summit.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I saw that too.
Which
that's really
think
cool.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I want this team now even more than before I knew who was going to go where for expansion teams. I want this expansion team to happen. Please do it.
Yes.
It is worth it. I want a team named in honor of one of the greatest women's basketball coaches of all time.
Not just one of the greatest women's basketball coaches.
One of the greatest coaches.
One of the greatest coaches
of
all time in any sport. Exactly.
She was great. But when Wes mentioned National Women's Sports Day, that clicked in my head, and I thought I'd share that with everyone and say, hey, look, there's a chance that there could be a team named in honor of Pat Summitt, which I think for women's sports, that would be absolutely amazing.
That's awesome.
Well,
fellas, do we have any more parting thoughts before we finish this off? That is it. Well,
looking forward to seeing a bunch of action that you guys will be out and about doing tomorrow, and
I'll be coaching.
I'll see you Thursday.
Hardyville. I'll be coaching some Canes baseball tomorrow for practice, and I'm excited to see my first glimpse of what our Hardyville High School team is looking like this year. I know Justin's very excited to be the head coach for the women's softball team for Hardyville High School this year. I know he's very excited.
That's awesome.
So we're going to see how that goes. I'm excited to go watch some USCB men's and women's basketball tomorrow night. That should be very fun. I'm excited for the men's team to be back at home and see them continue their winning ways. And so I think we're all excited for something going on here in the Low Country, which is why we come on to this show and talk about it almost every night, despite the fact that we are going to be off tomorrow. But with that being said, I think that should end our show. So I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Thank you to the viewers for keeping us, your mainstream show every weekday night. Thank you to Kevin Libby for being Kevin Libby.
We love you, Kev.
We'd like to thank our sponsors.
I'll see you Friday.
See him Friday. We'd like to thank you guys for supporting us. Thank our sponsors for supporting us. Thank you guys for keeping us going and growing. And we continue to grow with all the support you guys give us, and we can't thank you enough. But we will be off tomorrow night. We will be back on Thursday night, and we will tell you what all went down tomorrow night, including what goes down between Lander and USCB in men's and women's basketball. And we'll also talk with you about what the rest of the week holds. And, of course, the weekend, because we have a huge weekend, specifically USCB sports. So we're very excited for that. And I hope you guys are too. So we will be back on Thursday night. Thank you guys so much for watching. From Marcus Walsh and Worldwide Wes Kerr, I'm Max Araj. And until next time, go Lowco.
The Lowco Sports Lowdown podcast is a production of Lowco Media LLC and LowcoSports.com, an independent media outlet providing grassroots local sports coverage in the South Carolina Lowcountry. We are sustained by community support from sponsors and patrons like you. Get in the game with a monthly pledge of $1 or more at patreon.com/LowcoSports to keep us going and growing. Go Lowco.